The first man I killed, I hadn't been in country more than, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. And we were up on the DMZ up there, and we got into a small firefight just at dusk the evening before. And the next day, they had some 3 or 4 North Vietnamese had really stumbled into our position, and we were set up for the night. And they just came down the trail and walked right in because they thought we were someplace else. I mean, they made a mistake. And so there was this shooting back. I mean, we said nobody's ready for a fight. We weren't ready. So, you know, it was just like we were cooking dinner and, you know, getting ready for the evening, digging holes, positions. And they just sort of diddy-bopped right in. And there was this shooting, and then it got dark, and the next morning we found a little blood trail. And so my squad was sent back to chase that blood trail and see if we found anybody. Well, we got up to the top of the next hill along this trail, along these ridgeline trails. It was maybe a click away, just a kilometer away or so. And as we came up to the top of this hill, they put out a sentry, and he had a claymore. And this kid had this claymore that he had set off. And it wounded the point man and the second guy, and I was the third guy down. And the second guy was lightly wounded. It was our first combat. I'd been training with him. This is our first combat. And this explosion goes off, and DJ comes roaring down this really steep trail, you know. And I go, what happened? And he comes charging down this thing, and he'd been hit by a piece of shrapnel right between the eyes. And blood was dripping off the end of his nose, and his eyes were that big, and I thought he was dead. I really did. Turns out he was very lightly wounded, but he thought he was dead too. And I said, "Where's Turner?" And he said, "Turner, I don't know. He's up there." And so I grabbed him and threw him down. And I said, "You okay? Where else you hit?" And he goes, I don't know. I said, "Where's Turner?" And he said, Turner had been close to this thing when it went off, and he took a whole bunch on the back of his head and his neck, and he was pretty badly wounded, bleeding. And so I ran up to him and was trying to pay attention to what was going on right at the crest of the hill, and what was going on with him, and where are they, what happened. He didn't know what happened because he was pretty shocked. And this kid, this North Vietnamese kid, jumps up on the crest of the hill, which wasn't any farther from here to that wall, and is like doing like this. And he saw me, and I saw him at the same time, and he pulled up his gun, and I pulled up mine, and I shot him. It was just like that. And he just fell like a rock. He just fell face first down and slid head in the dirt. I killed him. And I was like, I'm good. It's okay. I'm good. Only by then, some other people. So he was a sentry for the people that were camped on the other side of that hill. And so about that time, 2 more or 3 more of them sort of took positions and started shooting back at us. And, I mean, this all happened that quickly. You know? And so we got into this shootout for a while. And one guy tried to jump over the hill and get his buddy and pull him back. And we shot him. He made it. I don't know whether he died or what, but he was hit, but he made it back over the hill without covering this kid's body. So finally they gave up and they took off. We had him outgunned. We got a machine gun up there and a bunch of other people online, and we were just shooting up the whole jungle. And so we recovered this young man's body, and he looked like he was maybe 15. He was probably 17 or 18. I don't know. I don't know how young they were drafting him at that point. But so at the time I had shot him, I was like, yeah, I got him. You know. But then I realized this is somebody's kid. You know. Wasn't much different from my age, and it was sad. I mean, I can live with it because he was going to shoot me. The draw first, but we found a letter on his body that was written on purple this beautiful hand, Vietnamese, beautiful handwriting. And I kept that letter for, I don't know, 2 months, and it got soaking wet and got ruined in the rains. And I finally threw it away, but I wish I had taken better care of it. And that was, so it was sobering, it was like, I just killed some human being that had somebody that cared about him. Probably some sweet young thing that really liked him, And I never knew what was in the letter.